Hey Daily Dosers, Chase here from our Temecula campus, and as we continue to talk about practicing patience today, I'm reminded of the number of times that I've been on the receiving side or the positive side of patience, right? It's really hard to give, and yet to get is incredible. And so I'm reminded of a particular situation that when I was a 4-year-old kid. You remember those Kool-Aids? They had the twist-off caps on the top, and they were plastic. You could squeeze them. You had to finish them in one draw because there was no way to stop. And yet I remember a certain situation of my parents walking into the living room. They had equipped my brother and I with these red and purple Squeeze-It bottles. It's the color that stains everything. And they walk in and I'm cackling with my brother because I had posted myself up on the couch that sits in the middle of our living room. White couch, white carpet, and I used that as an opportunity to do some target practice with my brother. Older brother, pretty agile, pretty quick, and I don't remember getting a single drop of red Kool-Aid on him. And yet, it's only by God's grace and mercy and my parents' patience that I'm still alive today. Because I look at situations like that, and yes, there's some patience involved with that, but there's other attributes and characteristics that go hand in hand, especially when it comes to patience. And so I want to highlight just a couple of those things as we look at Ephesians 4:2. Paul lays out a couple of other things that go along with those in order to keep the unity of the church. He writes this: "Be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love." See, the first thing that I see there is being completely humble. Now, it's important for us to even have that mental change, that perspective as we walk into situations with people, because if we're considering ourselves more important, our time is more valuable, we're the right ones, then we're already walking into these conversations with the wrong mindset. We know that people have value. Look at what has been done for them. And so to enter into a time that they are worthy of our time, of our effort, of our forgiveness, of our mercy, of our emotions, empathy, if we walk in and we recognize they are worthy not only of the patience, but of the other things that are to come in those conversations, then we can walk into those with complete humility and really try to understand what they're going through and help them through whatever they might be working through. The next thing is gentleness, because I feel like when we step into those situations where we're walking through with people of, let's say someone's in a season of grief or mourning, it's really easy to be gentle with them, to empathize with them at the start. But don't we eventually get to a point where we're like, just get over it? When is this going to come to an end? And yet I think we cringe when we think about that, because that's not the gentleness that that person or that season requires. And so in that season where we are using patience to walk alongside them, we should be gentle. I think of my kids. How many times a day do I have to tell them, no, don't do that? It gets to number 70. And yet I still have to be patient with my kids and not snap at them or grow really quick or blunt with them. And then that last one, bearing with one another in love. See, having just seen some of these Olympic athletes, I get the mental picture of it's that clenching of your fist, it's the gritting of your teeth, it's going long beyond what you think you're capable of. It's not little suffering, it's long suffering. And so when we're bearing with one another in love, it's not just, okay, well, I've tried to put up with as much as I can. It's going well beyond, hey, this person, the value that they have, going back to that humility. How much are they worthy of? Oh, we're worthy of all the long suffering that we can possibly give to each other, the gentleness, the patience. And I think of that example that we have in Jesus. I realize, man, what a great picture we have of someone that's long-suffering, willing to go alongside all of his disciples and the things that they went through, or even walking alongside of us in our mess right now. The patience that he shows us, the time that he gives us in order to come alongside and do the things that we should be doing. The gentleness that he shows us, and man, he could correct us in a right way really quickly, and yet he sets us up in situations where other people come alongside and help us. And the humility he showed in taking on human form and going to the cross willingly for something that, man, he didn't even deserve. What an incredible picture and example of patience, gentleness, humility, and bearing with each other. Church, I know it's a tall order, it's a big ask, but if we can show each other some of these things within the church, it's such a great example of the gospel that people outside of the church can see too, and they can say, you know what, I want what they have too. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.